Well, welcome back, friends. This is Velma from Leaders Pathway, where leaders go to grow. We are continuing our Escape Burnout and Reclaim Your Life series. And here's the good news today. If you've missed any of the first 5 shifts, you can always go back and catch up. They're waiting there whenever you're ready. For today, though, we are building on everything we've covered so far, and we're jumping into shift number 6. And that shift is define your purpose. To escape burnout and reclaim your life, you need to define your purpose. So let's be real. Gaining all your meaning and your purpose from your job, that's usually an unhealthy thing to do. And the lack of purpose, well, if you have no purpose in this life, that's draining and stressing, and it leads to burnout. See, it turns out every workday will be like a fog. When you don't have purpose, it's like trying to drive through a thunderstorm without windshield wipers. You might still be moving, but you can't see where you're going. And when you don't know where you're going, it leads to more stress in your life. And stress, my friend, leads to burnout. Now, here's the hard truth. Your work won't love you back. I know. You've got to find a sense of purpose from your life, not just your job. Because, see, your identity exceeds your work. Your identity, who you are, is not defined by your work. And here's the thing. I know what the world tells you. There are 1,000 pieces of advice out there about how to beat burnout. And they usually sound something like this. Practice mindfulness. Get exercise. Take a vacation. Do some yoga. Turn off those notifications on your phone and tablet. Stop checking email at night. Get some more rest. And hey, those aren't bad things. They're good for humans in general. We all need them. In fact, I remember that I believe in all of them and want you to do them. But here's the thing. Self-care alone isn't cutting it anymore when it comes to burnout. I've talked with leaders who did all those things. They meditated, they stretched, they went to bed early, they even took time off. And yet they were still so depleted by their jobs that they ended up in the hospital with mystery symptoms and chronic conditions and health crisis. And I don't want that for you. So I want you to know that self-care is important and you want to do all those things, but they're not enough. The problem wasn't that these leaders didn't rest enough. The problem is that they didn't have a purpose. See, you remember the old analogy? It goes like this. Drop a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put it in cool water and heat it up slowly and the frog will stay there until it cooks. Friends, most leaders are like that frog. They work, and work some more, and they don't even realize that the water is heating up around them. And the only way out isn't more grit or more resilience. The frog doesn't need thicker skin. It needs to see the lily pads and the beautiful ponds around it. It needs a reminder that life is more than the pot it's sitting in, and that work is not your life. It's only a part of it. So let's circle back to our friend Harold. We've been going on his journey to escape burnout and reclaim his life. And Harold is our overworked and high-achieving executive. Harold, he didn't realize that he was in overdrive until he was running out of steam. Remember, he had no priorities, no focus, no boundaries, and certainly no purpose. He was like a runaway train rushing down the tracks, fast, noisy, impressive, but headed for burnout. You know what really hit him? Here's what hit him hard. He realized that he couldn't even remember the last time that he felt paint on his hands. See, Harold loved canvas painting, But it had been so long since he had picked up his brushes that he couldn't even remember what it felt like to create something beautiful, to see his own talents come to life outside of a spreadsheet. He'd traded his joy for a job, and the job wasn't giving much back. Now, here's where Harold turned things around and how you can apply these too in your life. Harold didn't just muscle through with more coffee and late nights. I know what you're thinking. Coffee helps. Yes, it does. But it does not stop burnout. And Harold made these 3 shifts that gave him real purpose again. You can do them too. Number 1, he rediscovered what made him come alive. Harold dusted off his old canvas pad and he pulled out his paint and his brushes, and he sat down and he said for the first time when he stroked his brushes on the canvas, it was like oxygen to his soul. For you, it might be woodworking, it might be gardening, it might be cooking, it might be writing, whatever it is that makes you come alive. I want you to find that thing that gives you joy outside of work. Number 2, Harold shared his paintings. See, Harold's purpose wasn't just about climbing ladders at work. He started carving time out to share his painting projects with his friends and with his family. It reminded him that his creativity and care could bring joy to others and not just have to produce results at the office. And number 3, he scheduled time for his passion. When you define your purpose, you have to also schedule time to enjoy the passion of your purpose. So instead of letting work steal every hour, Harold blocked time on his calendar for his hobby. Those quiet hours with his paintbrushes and canvas pads gave him space to breathe, to reflect, and to remember that his purpose was bigger than his email box. These 3 actions didn't just pull Harold out of burnout, they put him on a pathway toward purpose. So let me ask you, my friend, where do you need to redefine your purpose? Because if work feels like fog, maybe it's time to pull purpose from outside of work. Your purpose could be your faith. It could be your family. It could be your hobbies. It could be your relationships. Whatever it is, it's the thing that reminds you, you are more than your work. Work won't love you back, but your purpose, that will carry you when work drains you dry. So don't be the frog cooking slowly in the pot. Look up, find your lily pad, step into the bigger, more beautiful pond of purpose waiting for you. Well, friends, that's shift number 6, define your purpose. And in our next episode, we'll wrap up this Escape Burnout and Reclaim Your Life series with shift number 7. That one you don't want to miss. Until then, protect your peace, rediscover your purpose, and remember, the world doesn't just need more leaders, the world needs more valuable leaders with purpose. I'm Velma. God bless.